If you've already heard the other clips about how to apply for a fiancé or spousal visa, now it's time to go into a little bit more depth. Uh, Most of the applications that have problems because they have failed to convince the immigration officer that the couple have a genuine relationship. So in this clip, we will discuss how to prove that you have a genuine relationship. My name is Fred Wahl, and I am the matchmaker and webmaster at the Heart of Asia Romance Network. We've been online for about 15 years now and have helped thousands of couples, usually from USA to overseas to Asia and Pacific, find each other and to get married and start families. Almost every day I get one or two phone calls from people advising me of their happiness, their success, and asking questions about the fiancé visa and spousal visa process. It's a bit complicated. It needs to be done properly the first time. So I've put together this presentation to help answer a lot of questions up front. I hope you enjoy, and good luck in starting this adventure. First, the legalese. I am not an attorney nor an employee or agent of the U.S. government. So, if you need official advice or if you need legal advice, please go to the appropriate government agency or go to a licensed attorney. Two departments of the government will be involved in reviewing any fiancé or spousal visa petition. USCIS handles it first, and if they're convinced it's legitimate, they will pass it on to the State Department, to the Consular Service, who will also review it, and if they're convinced, they will grant the visa. The mandate of the government reviewers is not to bring happy couples together. Instead, it is to catch and prevent fraud. And this is somewhat more art than science. So they do work on a basis of feelings, of intuition, of something doesn't feel right, and that's what causes applications to be bounced back or rejected. Some applicants have the false impression that if they are married, that they have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are a genuine couple. Well, if a couple is married for many years, has a few children, yes, immigration will be convinced they are genuine. But if a couple has only known each other for a few days or weeks and are married, that really makes no difference than another couple who has not gotten married but also has only known each other on a short acquaintance. One of the simplest ways to prove a long-distance relationship is to keep track of all the correspondences. You can save emails and letters. Telephone bills are important. Don't use a prepaid card that does not give you an itemized log. Make sure you have an itemized log that shows every single call that you've made. Same as for instant messaging. We're not really interested in seeing all the chit-chat, hello, how are you messages, but turning on logging in your instant messaging will give a history of every time you've logged in, every time you've spoken with your partner. During your courtship, you should be traveling and meeting your partner face to face. So keep the ticket itineraries, the receipts, boarding passes, receipts from the hotels, and make extra copies of the entry-exit stamps from your passport that show that you entered her country on a certain date and departed on a certain date. During a face-to-face meeting with your partner, make sure you take many photos. Ideally, include a date stamp so it's clear when these photos were taken, and double check that the photos actually have developed before you return to the United States. Some clients have returned to the States and found out that their film was blank. Also, keep them safe. Some client has lost his camera and lost all of his photos at the same time. The subject should be the two of you together, not just scenery. And when you are together, the best photos are ones that show you as a happy, smiling, affectionate couple. If you have a formal engagement, then a copy of the engagement ring receipt, a photo of her wearing the ring, perhaps announcements for an engagement party, photos from an engagement celebration. These are all very compelling. If you are a married couple, you should obtain a joint tenancy wherever possible. You could open up bank accounts, sign leases, and put both names onto statements or invoices that you receive. It's a good idea to hang on to all of your correspondences, receipts, etc., etc. But when you are building the petition to submit to USCIS, they don't want to see notebooks and notebooks of emails or other information. So what you should do is choose like a timeline where if you've known each other for say 9 months, choose some emails from 9 months ago, a couple from 6 months ago, a couple from 3 months ago, a couple from last week. Again, that have substantive conversations, ideally talking about the future. Same thing in photos. They do not need a photo album with 1,000 photos, but 6 to 12 good photos that show you together, ideally spread over time, will be compelling. So pick and choose what's relevant. In addition to documents and receipts and logs, the way to tell your story is literally to tell your story. I always attach a 1 to 3 page letter with every petition that will describe the history of the relationship. It's almost like you had a diary from start to finish of your relationship that you are discussing and relaying what happened. So you should talk about the history of the relationship, when you met, what happened, where you're going. Include a timeline. So you met 9 months ago, you had a trip 3 months ago, there's another trip planned 4 months in the future. Discuss why you chose that particular person. Talk about what you have in common. Discuss what your plans are to be together. There will be some situations where you're already facing skepticism by the immigration reviewers. If your partner is coming from a high-risk country, high risk, I'm meaning where there's a lot of fraud going on, you've only known each other for a short time, or there's a very large age difference between the two of you. In those cases, you should take extra care to demonstrate the genuine relationship. And I usually recommend to my clients, make multiple trips. Go a second or third time. Demonstrate that you are together as a couple. And if the two of you don't speak a common language, it's a good idea to enroll your partner into an English language school and include those receipts in your petition package. If you need assistance to prepare your petition, come to Fiancee Visa Services. For do-it-yourselfers, I offer the service where I will review your package and give you my comments before you submit it to immigration. And finally, also for do-it-yourselfers, I have two ebooks, one for Fiancee visa applicants and another for Spousal visa applicants.